LR, the Liberal Redneck here, coming to you from a country having more trouble with the lockdowns than the actual pandemic. The God Has My Back group is bound and determined to throw common sense and scientific fact out the window so believers can get a freaking haircut. As a result, many states are doing away with social distancing protocols and opening up for business as usual in spite of record numbers of deaths from the virus still going up every day. Thousands attended a flyover by the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. In Texas, massive crowds covered the beaches along the Gulf Coast. Missouri has opened the door for large outdoor gatherings such as concerts to once again be staged, while employees at businesses allowed to reopen in Stillwater, Oklahoma, were threatened with violence and verbal abuse for requiring customers to wear masks, to such an extent the mayor rescinded the order. A store guard at a dollar store in Flint, Michigan was shot and killed by an angry customer who was refused entrance for not wearing a mask. A postal employee in Indianapolis, Indiana was shot and killed by a man who thought she had stolen his stimulus check. Meatpacking companies such as Tyson, with 900 employees tested positive for the virus, and Smithfield, with 850 employees tested positive, are being forced by the president to stay open regardless. The president also promised 5 million tests a day. His person in charge of testing, Admiral Brett Giroir, said there's no way that is happening. Convinced that the rising death numbers will kill his chances for re-election, the president is doing all he can to suppress the updates on the death toll, to the extent he is refusing to release already budgeted funds to help the poor with funeral expenses in such a national emergency. The glaring problem with all these efforts to reopen the economy is that more people will die needlessly, and the whole shutdown process will have to be started all over again from scratch with much steeper restrictions. In conclusion, I go to the words of American philosopher Noam Chomsky. Quote, "I don't know what word in the English language, I can't find one, applies to people who are willing to sacrifice the literal existence of organized human life so they can put a few more dollars into highly stuffed pockets. The word evil doesn't even begin to approach it." End quote. The word you are looking for, Noam, is Republican, and it will become obsolete on November 3rd, 2020. You can reach me at theliberalredneck@gmail.com, and you can visit live with me and my very talented colleagues every Friday at noon Central for our weekly wrap-up on blogtalkradio.com/theliberalredneck. Thanks for watching.